Hello guys and welcome to some Battlefield 3 gameplay. I won't actually be talking about the gameplay. Surprise, surprise, right? And as you can see from the title, it's a pretty controversial title. I'm not gonna be actually talking about the gameplay, but a little bit on the meaning of life, or how I've actually been thinking about it. Thing is, this is a subject that I actually love talking about. I love talking about anything philosophical, religious, all of this good stuff. And it's funny because yesterday I was taking a shower and now I usually listen to music while I shower. I bring like my cell phone and I listen to some music while I shower, and I actually put it in Donkey Kong Country, the uh, the song from the first map, the first stage, and I'm gonna put the link in the description for that. It's awesome song. But when it actually finished, I don't know why, but I started thinking about the meaning of life. It was so weird, and I'm sitting there taking a shower, and I just listened to the best song ever, and then start thinking, what is the meaning of all this, And I mean, when I think about the meaning of life, many different things, go to my head. Is there a God? Is there no God? Why are we here? The usual questions. And I thought I would share it, with you guys, what I thought about. And I just want to let you guys know that for for most of my philosophy, I take into account a God existing, because I there's different debates. What are the reasons that we're here? If a God exists or if a God doesn't exist, or um, I usually take into account God existing, just simply because if there was no God, if I was like a nihilist and I believed that a God is dead, or if there was simply no God or no meaning to life, then me philosophizing about it wouldn't matter anyways. That's why I do it in regards to there being a God. And when I philosophize about there being a God, I don't specifically mean any specific God, from any specific religion. I usually just go by a being, just a being that has a higher intelligence than us, that might have or might not have created this world and the universe. But I don't specifically, and I'll get into that in some later video. But I want to talk about the meaning of life for this one. It's gonna be a long subject. I'll see if I'll cut it up in half. What I usually think about when I think about the meaning of life is it's not as much as why I am here, as much it is why is everything here. Why are we living in this world? Why is there even a world? Every time that I just go out, and I see, like, for example, a plant, I mean, not all the time, but sometimes I'll just stare at a plant and just have like a mental orgasm, just thinking about just how incredible life is. The way that we're here, I just look at the palm of my hand, and just start thinking, wow, man, this is ridiculous. How are we here? The whole fact that we're here, it just blows my mind. Sometimes it's ridiculous. But I start thinking, why, if there was a God, why would he create us? Why would a God need of people like us, or animals, like dogs or whatever, to be here? I mean, saying that that we are important, like pretending that humans are important in the meaning of life, which chances are it is not. um it's so perplexing just thinking about it. I mean, one can imagine that if you can simply say that, yeah, well, there's the way that our minds are made of, there's no way for us to know why we're here. I mean, we would need like an for us to reach like 100% of brain usage for us to be able to comprehend that. But I freaking not want that answer. It's just thinking about this all day. Why are we here? If there was a God, does he wants us here to experiment how it is to not be in heaven? So by the time we reach heaven, we will enjoy it. Is that it? Or like, are we supposed to be here to simply reproduce and because that's that's what everyone says. I mean, why? What's the reason for humans? Why? What do? We just reproduce. I mean, that's what we're made to do. Everything that the human body tries to do is for the end goal of reproducing itself. That's I mean, the laws of survival is pretty much what we do. And I mean, you have to look at it for it to be reproduction to be like a main part of that. But what would be the reason to have a freaking up 200 Earths, of humans, full of humans? What would be the purpose of that? Why would a god do that? Like, I just can't think of a god who would just simply create humans just for nothing. There must be a purpose. I mean, obviously, again, this is pretending there is a god, right? Why would he create us humans or anything, for the sole purpose of, haha. I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, because you see, if he would just create us to have a laugh, to entertain himself, then he wouldn't have trouble showing himself to us. um that's one thing that you can think about. And if he created us for a certain purpose, for either his it could be that he needs us for him to be able to survive. I mean, there's many things you can think about, and it just blows my mind. And I was researching, what the other philosophers say about it, and I don't know. I just cannot. It's not that I don't get it. It's just that I don't agree with them. For example, I was reading Plato. He says that the meaning of life is just to simply find the highest form of knowledge, right? So the meaning for us humans is to simply study and become smart, and find the highest knowledge possible. And I mean, eventually that will reach us into getting a conclusion into what is the meaning of life. But that in itself is not the meaning of life. How can a god create us simply to get higher knowledge? I mean, I could understand it, but it doesn't make any sense. Like, you see, if God created us for us to reach a higher level of knowledge, is for us to understand something, and that something would be the goal. The goal wouldn't be to get a higher knowledge. It would be to use that knowledge that we would get to do something else, and that something else is what would be the actual meaning of life. And the Aristotle, which is the disciple of Plato, says something even more interesting. The guy was so like, the meaning of life, it's not specifically to get the higher form of knowledge, but it would be, just as I said, the goal that, for example, here in life, we look at stuff like we have goals, all of us, and whatever goal that we have is to attain another goal. So, I mean, people work, right? Their goal is to get that awesome office in there, but that's not the main goal. They want that office to get a better payroll, and they want that better payroll to buy a better house. Or they want that better house to make their children happy. They want to make their children happy because it makes them happy. And in the end, happiness would be the main goal. Or people want money so they can get more girls. And they want girls to have sex. And they want sex because that makes them happy. And then happiness would be the main, the main goal. And most of these, I mean, I'm not gonna go specifically into every single philosopher, but most of them just talk about happiness being the meaning of life. And that's something that one can actually understand. But then again, why would a god make us to be happy? I mean, obviously, better than making us to be sad, but what would God gain from that? I mean, I don't get it. I mean, why couldn't he just make us be in complete ecstasy 100% of the time if he wants us to be happy? I mean, why would he create like sadness in the world if he just wants to make us happy? And that's a thing that I just don't agree on. Happiness cannot be the actual goal in life, the meaning of life. It's annoying just not getting it. But I was reading more, and I found this really interesting one. It's called existentialism. Now, existentialism actually says that the meaning of life is not found through gods or rules set by society, but more like what you set up your own goal to be. Like your meaning of life is what you want it to be. If if I want to be, the best YouTuber in the world, and I dedicate my life to that, then obviously that is the meaning of your life. You set up your own meaning of life, but that doesn't really solve the problem. I mean, it's an interesting concept, and it does make sense. You make yourself what you want to be, but it doesn't explain, or in fact, it just hides from the actual question, which is why are we created? Why is the reason for everything? You can set up your own reason, but what is the general reason for all of us as a collective unit? And that is what is really interesting in this, and that's something that just really grabs my mind, and something that I've been trying so hard to understand. And the same thing on the Epicureanism. Same thing. They just say, oh, the goal of life is to seek certain pleasures, but that's stupid. So yeah, I mean, most of it. I mean, obviously, I'm making this in reference of there being a god. If there is no god, then what's the point in arguing anyway? That's why I don't even bother with that. But yeah, I just thought I would go ahead and share this with you guys. Something that I've been thinking about lately, and I'll probably make more videos about things like this. Probably if I get a lot of feedback, a lot of answers, I might talk about it a little bit more. But I'll probably do some other subjects, that I've also been thinking about. And I do think about this type of things a lot, because it really bothers me, the reason for me to be here, the reason for everything to be here. It's really perplexing, something that I've always been thinking about. But yeah, I'm gonna cut off the video here because it's getting too long. I'm just gonna make it one whole video. So hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a comment about what your thoughts are on the matter. But yeah, see you guys later. Peace, guys. Rex out.